What inspired you to pick up the pen in 2021? And was this after college or during college or?
Yeah, this was after college. What inspired me, honestly, just, lyrics. I'm heavy on lyrics. So, I had a bunch of things written, and I think it was just time to, formulate a song and get it out there.
No doubt. When you say you're inspired by lyrics, was there a lyricist that inspired you to pick up the pen and write, whether it be in hip-hop or whatever genre?
Yeah, Lauryn Hill. I'm a big fan. I like a lot of different artists. So, a guy named Chadwick Stokes, I'm a big fan of. He's in a band called Dispatch and State Radio. He's a great writer to me. Those two come to mind for sure.
What's a great lyric to you?
A great lyric to me, that's a tough question. Heavy, thought out, something that preaches to a wide variety of an audience, not just one singular person, something that can be extrapolated by many different people, and almost like a little generic in a sense, not too specific, so an individual could take it for his or her own and not always have the same sort of thought about a lyric.
Nice. And how about a verse? What makes a perfect verse to you? Like, with hip-hop you have 16s, right? But other genres you might just have 8 or 4, right? So what's a perfect verse to you?
Another good question. I mean, to me, it's kind of generic, but a perfect verse has to have the perfect flow. It has to cut off at the right time. It has to come in at the right time. Generic question, answer, but that's what a perfect verse is to me.
What's one of your favorite verses from a song?
So many.
I know it's tough. It's a lot to think about on the spot.
Yeah, just based off the instrumental we just played, like Snoop's verse on that is fire. I mean, it comes in perfect time and ends at the perfect time and right flow. Keeps the entire flow of the song going. I don't know if it's the perfect verse, but for that it is. I think so, yeah.
There's a song and a verse that like stopped me in my tracks. I'm talking about I pulled over and was like, hold on, what? Did you just hear that? My girl was asleep at the time. I woke up, I'm like, listen to this shit. And it's from a song from a band called Middle Brother.
Okay.
The song's called $1 Million Bill. When it hits me that she's gone, I think I'll be an astronaut. Make the moon my home and leave this world behind. So when she steps out into the night to see the light that makes her pretty, she'll be looking at me every time she shines. And then they go into the hook. And I thought it was ill because he's talking about when it hits me that she's gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's a breakup kind of song, right? But he's like, you know what? I'm going to be an astronaut. You know what I'm saying? So to go from breaking up to being an astronaut. But then he's like, but you know what, though? I'm going to move to the moon. So when she steps out into the night and looks up, she'll still be looking at me and I'll be looking at her. You know what I'm saying? And then the next verse, same thing. He's like, I'm gonna put my face on $1 million bill. So when she goes out and gets all these rich guys that I wasn't, when they flex on her and buy her stuff, she'll see my face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think great lyrics put a lot of life into one line or one verse.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to you, like a song that comes to mind. It's called Mellow Mood. It's by a band Slightly Stupid. It features G-Love and Special Sauce. And a line that sticks out to me pretty much my entire life. When all your money's gone, where will you be? If your love is strong, that's all you need. I mean, that's been important to me. And so just listening to you made me think of that for sure.
It's like a life lesson, right? That you get out of it. It doesn't have to be the most lyrical, crazy bar, but like if you get something out of it, if it means something to you, or it can mean something to somebody else to where you'd want to share it. Yeah. I think that's important with lyrics, man. Like, I don't care what genre it is. I'm a lyric heavy guy. You know what I mean? It could be one word. The realest rap lyric I heard, my boy said, hit the Louis store, all the cash in it. I can have a lot of bitches pull up at the last minute. Mic drop. Tony. I can have a lot of bitches pull up at the last minute. If that's not the realest shit you've ever heard from a rapper, because if I ask you, hey, man, can you get some bitches to pull up at the last minute? Cat's going to be stuck. They're going to be like, man, I couldn't get here 40 deep, the homies, but where the bitches at? Nah. Really dope, man, that you came up here to go off of the top as a relatively new MC, I should say, because we started the platform in 2018, you know?
Yeah.
Before you ever picked up a pen or picked up a mic, and I know you've been listening and peeping the freestyles for a while, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt, no doubt. What's your background, your ethnicity and heritage, and what was it like growing up?
Italian American. little French as well. Growing up in New Jersey, a lot of music. There is the shore there too, so some coastal life for sure. Relates to LA for sure in that sense. Yeah, it's dope, man. I love growing up in New Jersey. New Jersey's my hometown. Been out in LA for a minute though. So, again, a lot of music. Shout out to the Stone Pony, great venue out in New Jersey.
The Stone Pony.
Yes,
that
sir.
sounds crazy. That sounds like a rough strip club.
Nah.
Like Pink Pony, you got the Stone Pony. Yeah. Now, what kind of venue is it though?
Nah, legendary venue. Small venue. All kinds of genres come through. Dope venue. Been going there for a long time.
Every city needs a venue like Stone Pony.
Yes,
you know,
sir. Yes,
like
sir.
there was Apache Cafe in Atlanta where I was at for a while doing the marketing there. Then you have the Drunken Unicorns and places like that. And Austin is awesome because every single bar, venue, wherever you go, there's a stage and a PA system. Did you get a chance to perform back home a lot?
Nah. I mean,
Really?
I didn't really. I mean, when I dropped my first track, I was out here. So
No doubt.
I've been bumping around out here, some open mics in Venice, the Venice West, another dope venue.
Okay.
That's kind of what I've been doing lately.
Would you say that's like a Stone Pony?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
No doubt. That's what's up. What makes those environments and venues like that special to you?
intimate. A love for the craft from the audience. Not too big where you might get a little lost in the sound.
Yeah.
Those are reasons. Though.
Yeah. And there's places like that everywhere. Like in Inland Empire, there's places like that. And I think it's dope that you can like perform in front of an audience of your peers, and get the love, but then also get the real of it, right? Do you ever get feedback when you step off stage like, yo, that was crazy, yo, that was trash, son, let's collaborate? Like,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my last open mic, the beat didn't work, so I had to do the track a cappella, and got some love, and I was pumped about that. I mean, things that just shows things can go wrong. You just got to keep going, and the crowd might react differently to that too.
And that's the MC for you. You can't look for no excuse, right? You can't let the beat dictate what you about to do in front of this audience because people are watching you. They're not watching the beat, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What was hip hop on the shore like? Was there a lot of street performers out there, or what was it like? Cats like going at your neck, like trying to battle? Like what was the shore like?
Nah, no one, not really going at you like that. Talent. I would say there's talent, and maybe in New York, going up to New York, it was a little bit more competitive, I'd say.
No doubt.
But I think for a wide variety of hip hop in a sense, even if it's like reggae, rock, hip hop, that was big. Things like that, Sublimes of the world. That resonated a lot in the coast.
What do you think has to happen for you to do a show at Stone Pony or wherever in your hometown? What does that take? And when I mean a show, I mean your show. I'm not talking about an open mic. Like, what does it take to get to that next level? And just in general, what is the next level for Vincent Manzullo?
Yeah, I mean, that's another good question. Networking, meeting people that have a love and a passion for the craft, and putting in work. You gotta go out there and you gotta put in work. You gotta make calls. You gotta put in effort. You gotta take a lot of no's.
Yeah.
And you got to have an agenda when you're doing shows too. Set lists, things like that. You can't just do it off the cuff the whole show.
Right.
So
right.
I would say those are some things. And what's next for me, man? It's just having this opportunity is pretty dope to me. I'm thankful for it. Being able to freestyle with not really worried about what's going to happen with it and still getting through.
Yeah.
And building another. It's all a big building block, really. At the end of the day, you need to have your portfolio and keep it going.
Trust in the process, collaboration, and you have a record with Los, correct?
Yeah,
it came out a few years back.
Yeah, collaboration is big to me. I've worked with King Los, Jalen Santoy, the Black Lotus, and recently G Love and Special Sauce. Artists that show different range, and it's been important to me. Never thought I'd be collabing with some great artists like that, for sure.
Do you have any milestones that you're working towards as far as getting to that next level, just mapped out, or you just trust in the process right now?
Yeah, milestones. I like to put out projects. So since 2021, I put out 5 projects. Proud of that. When I grew up, no one was putting out singles really. It was just projects and projects. So for me, that's kind of what I gravitated towards. Yeah, but trusting the process. Like I said, just building and staying humble.
Anybody that you want to work with in the immediate future, like let's manifest right now. Who do you want to work with in the next 6 months?
Man, there's so many dope artists that I'd love to work with. Manifest. I mean, Anderson .Paak would be incredible.
Yeah.
I love his work. You know, Ventura is such a dope album. They're all dope albums, but like, you know, he comes to mind. Lupe Fiasco would be awesome. You know, manifesting, right? You're talking, you know, so, you know, I don't know, you know, there's a range of stuff. So, you know, those guys come to mind for sure. Yeah.
We'll talk about the next project that you're about to drop. I'm sure you're already like ahead of the game because you dropped 5 in such a short period of time. When's the next project dropping?
I don't really have a date. Things kind of come together quickly for me though. I could find myself taking a break from the recording process and then, you know, one day being like, no, it's all ready, let's go. And so things kind of come quickly to me in that sense.
Yeah.
No date. I got a single I might be dropping soon. I know I just said I don't really like to, but, you know, in this day and age, you know, I got singles available. So that's probably the new thing I'll be dropping soon.
Yeah, through this process and growing as an artist, do you have anybody that's like helping guide the hand, if you will? I mean, because I know a lot of your family's in Jersey, but you've been out here for a while. Who's kind of helping you through this process, whether it be somebody that's in the industry or even not in the industry?
Sway's Universe, they've been supporting me, and G Love, you know, he's been supporting me too. Everyone in the different ways supports if they can, but you know, as shining lights, those two come to mind for sure.
Anything else that the people should know?
You can follow me and stuff, but you know, I'm more into the music, so you know, go check out my records. You know, everything's different. You know, so if you have time, if you want to put on one album and play one song off that album, and hopefully you like it, that'd be dope.
Well, there it is, baby. Vincent Manzullo, all the way from Jersey. We here in LA. First time in a long time, off the top. So much respect to you for just showing up and having the moxie to do that, because most people won't do that. Most people will come with their written, and that's exactly fine, right? But at the same time, though, there's something to be said about an MC that's just comfortable in their own skin, that's going to be like, I'm going to show up and this is what I'm going to do. So much respect to you for doing that, brother.
Yes, sir. You can't be afraid to fail, you know?
Let's go. You can't be afraid to fail. Put that on a t-shirt. If you want to pick that up, go to highofflifemerch.com. We're going to split the proceeds. Shit like that, man. High Off Life TV. Your boy Mike Sick at Mike Sick World. Get in the comments. Let us know what you think about the homie Vincent. Share it if you like it, if you love it. Check out the music. Most importantly, you can find them on Spotify, all streaming platforms, shit like that. Till next time, remember, the underground goes through us. High Off Life TV. Peace.